Greetings, everyone. I want to read for you just a few verses from Isaiah 63 today, verses 7 through 9. Isaiah says, "I will tell of the kindness of the Lord, the deeds for which he is to be praised. According to all the Lord has done for us. Yes, the many good things he's done for the house of Israel, according to his compassion and many kindnesses. He said, 'Surely they are my people, sons who will not be false to me.' And so he became their Savior. In all their distress, he too was distressed, and the angel of his presence saved them. In his love and mercy, he redeemed them. He lifted them up and carried them all the days of old." Dr. Cindy Rigby is a professor at Austin Seminary. Was my professor, actually, almost 30 years ago. And she wrote in Austin Seminary's Advent devotional this year this story that I want to share with you. She said, "On Sunday evenings, as I made my way home to Princeton Seminary from my student field placement at the Community Presbyterian Church in Edison, New Jersey, I frequently wept. It's hard to explain why. It did not seem to be sourced by my own sense of passion or pathos generated by reflection on the work of the day. It was evoked from outside myself, a symptom of being pierced to the marrow by someone who knew not only my every thought, but my every intention. I felt like I was being ambushed by a grace that was too near, that cared too much about how I lived my life, and that made me essential to the work that was all God's. In those moments, I had the uncanny sense that I was both a righteous person and a sinner, both capable of the infinite and utterly incapable, all the while feeling the peace that comes from being fully enclosed in the hollow of God's loving yet deliberate hand. Like the children of Israel, I experienced God's unmediated presence, but God came to me on Interstate 95 south instead of Mount Sinai. I found solace from the grace at Denny's restaurant, where I would go with my friends to debrief over pancakes. We would analyze our worship leadership and parse our interactions confidently with what many might identify as the bravado of youth. However, if you listen carefully, you would have heard notes of surprise and wonder that revealed our confidence was not the stuff of hubris, but of faith. Such faith is really surplus grace. The capacity to claim the promise that the God who is Emmanuel has a stake in what we become and will personally pick us up and carry us through our distress and into our salvation. I really like her last line in this devotional again, where she says, "Surplus grace is the capacity to claim the promise that the God who is Emmanuel has a stake in what we become and will personally pick us up and carry us through our distress and into our salvation." Surplus grace abounds, especially this coming Christmas season as we celebrate the birth of Christ. This joyful anticipation that we have during this season of Advent is difficult to endure. We wait, and yet we know something precious is coming, something that will sustain. Surplus grace. Seems like God is blessing us with it every day. I hope you notice and sense God's surplus grace in your life today. This coming Sunday, we'll have one worship service again at 10 a.m. as this week we worship through our traditional service of lessons and carols. 10 a.m. in the sanctuary. There will be a beautiful reception that will follow in the narthex and in the rest of the area surrounding the narthex. I hope you'll come and be part of it. Until then, may God's peace and God's grace sustain you.